Hi. Today's video is just kind of a catch up on a number of different things and a little bit of just just bits and bobs of my life. I don't know, for some crazy reason today, I don't know why, I was thinking about many years ago. Actually, I was having a conversation with two friends of mine. Many years ago, I worked for Elliot Janeway, the economist. And I should have known from the first moment that I did know from the first moment that I met him that life working in that milieu would not be typical, run of the mill. He worked out of his townhouse on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, and it was a lovely place. It really was. He called me in for an interview. I think it was a Sunday, but one of the requirements of the job was that I would be available to work on the weekends. And while that didn't thrill me, the prospect of working for Elliot Janeway and, thinking that I might be getting involved in some interesting things, I thought it was certainly worth it, and I needed the job. As I say, he interviewed me on the weekend. I believe it was a Sunday morning. I arrived at the house and I came upstairs. I was announced and came upstairs for the interview. I, in my tailored outfit, trying to be as polished and professional as I could, he in his pajamas. So it was a little bit different from that very first moment. But the thing that I recall, aside from all the crazy time and the racing back and forth, he was a brilliant man. He really was. And he had so many thoughts going on at the same time, and he wrote books, and he was involved in so many different things. He was constantly running back and forth to the airport, so some of the work was done in the limo on the way to the airport, or following him up and down the elevator to different levels of the townhouse and trying to catch his thoughts while he had them in flight. One particular Saturday, he said we all had to come into work, and we worked the morning, and he said that his wife was going to have a lunch for us. And I was very excited at the idea of having lunch with the Janeways. And they had this kind of country table in their dining room, and Mrs. Janeway sat at the head of the table, and she had these little bells that she rang for service, and just like you see in the movies. She rang the bell once for them to bring the food to the table, and she rang the bell twice when it was time to clear the table. Well, out came these couple of women. I don't remember if they were the cooks, or they were probably not the servers. And they had this wonderful large tureen, covered tureen with some kind of ladle in it that they brought to the table. And I kept thinking, what wondrous food am I going to get to taste? And how lovely it must be to have a cook. When the lid was opened and they were serving the food, it turned out to be Franks and beans. And that made me smile on many levels, because I guess expectations and what we think of life, and we think it's going to take us the road we think it's going to take us on, and here it was. But in fairness, it was the best Franks and beans I've ever had in my entire life. So just thought that I would share that little tidbit with you. Another thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to follow up just a little bit today about, I told you I've not really been here much, and I've been feeling absolutely horrible. I still am not quite sure what's wrong with me. I've had some tests. I need to have some more, but I had this, some kind of a mass on my right leg just below the groin. Doctors seem to think that it was some kind of a fatty tumor, but when I had one of the tests, they recommended further investigation of it, but it was impeding my ability to do normal things, and I was having some considerable problems with my leg. And that was in addition to some other issues that I do have sort of ongoing. And it's a little bit frightening when you are not in control, which in reality we're never really in control. We may think we are, but not quite. But it was hard for me to deal with, still is, and I still have more to find out. But what it made me realize was I am very lackadaisical when it comes to my health prevention, as it were. I do not go to doctors when I should. I do not do the things that I should do as I should do them. So I caution you, if you're anything like me, check things out. Make sure you have your checkups when you should. I suddenly now realizing that this happened, and I don't want it to escalate to be something really tragic, that I'm going to catch up on all the appointments that I should have had before this. So that's just a little bit for you. I'll be back in just a second about something else. Okay, I'm back. There are just a couple of things I wanted to follow up with you about today, and these are things that I probably should have followed up with sooner. But I had told you I would let you know about those brushes that I got from the SHOPMISSA, the dollar products. And I will tell you, all of the small brushes in that set, all the eye brushes, I love. I really love them. And I think for $1 a piece, you cannot go wrong. Now, when it comes to the larger brushes, they're not quite as firm as I like them to be. So I would say they're certainly good. And if you need brushes and you're in, on a budget, they're a good option. They're just not my absolute favorite. This one is okay, but I like a little more resistance on my brush, so it would not be my first choice. This one as an alternative to use for strobing is just fine. And as I say, I do like all of the smaller brushes from the set that I use for the eye. They're really quite wonderful. So that was a relative thumbs up. Oh, and another quick thing. This is really cute. I didn't even mention this when I showed you the stuff from SHOPMISSA. I was supposed to get their beauty blenders or their, their dupe for a beauty blender. And for some reason it wasn't in the thing, so I'm going to have to reorder that. But what I did get was the holder for it, because I always need something to keep it in, especially if it's near the sink. And this is a rubberized kind of thing. And how cute is this? I mean, this is one that doesn't fit splendidly, but how good is that? $1. It's a good thing. So that, and I wanted to tell you, I have for years preferred using a glass nail file. I had one for years that I had bought. I think it might have been on QVC, might have been HSN. It was one of those many years ago. It was incredible. When I saw the demonstration, I said, wow, it looks good. The thing that amazed me about that was it felt as if it had no grit. And the first time I used it, I said, there is no way that this is going to work and that this is going to actually file my nails. But it did an unbelievable job. Until one morning, I got sloppy and I took it into the bathroom. And unfortunately, I had to go to the bathroom first before I used it at the sink. Don't ask me why I was using it at the sink. But I decided to put it on the ledge of the sink. Now, don't forget, I redid that bathroom. The sink ledge is narrower than what I was used to. You guessed it. It fell. It broke into a million pieces, and I really wanted to cry, because the glass files can last you forever. So it's amazing, and to me, it does so much better a job than any of the others. And when you do your nails with it, it gives you a nice blunt edge so that you don't have to worry about the nails peeling as much or cracking if you have that problem. The new one that I got on Amazon. I actually bought two because I didn't know which would work. And this is good, but this feels more like a nail file. And it has, you know, that occasional nails on a chalkboard kind of thing. That's what it feels like to me, but it does a good job. Has the two sides, and you can use it. So I definitely, for me, I love a glass nail file. What I love about this one, my old one came in a soft case, and that was fine if I had the case with me, but this is so easy to carry. So it has this metal case, and all I do is have it like this. It's really, really good. So I like that. Just wanted to kind of talk about those few things today. I've got loads more to talk to you about, but I think that's going to be it for today. And tonight, I'm going to finally be having a chat with this gentleman who seems like a real gentleman and a real nice, caring person. So I'm going to be talking to him for a while. Take care. I hope you have a great night. Let me know if it works at all. I'm doing this. I feel like I'm doing it almost by candlelight. It would be nice if it were by candlelight, but I'm filming in the evening, and I'm filming with no light directly in front of me. I still haven't bought the ring light yet. I've got light behind me. I've got my screen on to kind of give me a little bit of light, and I've got a light in my foyer. So all of that is there, but tell me if I can get away with it. If I can film much more because I'm not restricted to the hours of the day that I've been doing. Final thoughts. You're going to definitely want to know this is the Gabor Soft and Subtle, and this is in the shadow shade of Sunkissed Beige. I love it. This is today's makeup look. I went with the grays and into kind of that little bit of a smoky thing, and I kind of like it. I picked up a couple of, I got the butter bronzer, and I picked up a strobing kit, cheap, at the drugstore when I went to pick up my medication. So I will try that out. I'll let you know what I think about it. And I will be back very soon, hopefully feeling like a human being. Talk to you soon. Take care. Have a great night.